Zoom, इसको देखो. Zoom, इसको देखो.
Please meet the beautiful Deepika.
Thank you.
चांदनी चौक to China एकदम नया concept है Indian cinema में. You know, it's like an Indo-Chinese crossover film.
True.
Yeah, so I mean, do you agree with that? Would you?
First of all, I wouldn't like to believe that Chandni Chowk to China is a crossover film. I think several attempts have been made by Indians or by foreigners to make so-called crossover films, but somewhere I don't think we've been able to reach or target the kind of audience that we want. I'd like to believe that Chandni Chowk to China is an international film. It's an Indian international film. Yes, the medium is Hindi, but we've also made sure that the film looks like an international film, and we have subtitles and in English and in Chinese, and so that people all over the world understand the cinema that we're making. And I think we've got Warner Brothers, which has played a huge part in making this an international project. And the fact that Nihkil has the sensibilities of taking Indian cinema to that level.
They think that is one of the only things, Great Wall of China, which can be seen from outer space.
True.
So were you noticed by aliens and stuff?
I'm sure we look like aliens to the aliens, because our look in the film is very exciting and something extremely new, something that's not been done before. I'm sure you've seen the promos, and there's my Indian look, and then there's the Chinese look, which we took quite long to crack, because trying to make an Indian girl, a South Indian girl like me who has big eyes, trying to make me look Chinese with slender eyes was a task. But after several look tests, we managed to get the look right. And so I hope the aliens watch the film as well.
But you had to put sellotape on your eyes and Chinese लगने के लिए, और डॉक्टर ने आपको बोला था नहीं करने को.
जी हाँ, that was actually an initial requirement. We were wondering how to get my eyes stretched out. But I don't think I would have survived that, because for 8 hours or 12 hours a day when you're shooting, to have tapes to stretch your eyes out, and the tape actually goes behind your head, so it's actually stretching your eyes out completely. And I wasn't too sure about that myself. And then when I went and checked with the doctor, he said that's definitely something I shouldn't be doing. But fortunately, we got Mallika Bhatt, who's done my look in my makeup in the entire film. And I'm glad that she got this technique of eyeliner right. And I think somewhere now I'm associated with eyeliner, because in Om Shanti Om I had the Indian eyeliner, now I have the Chinese eyeliners.
आपने Kufu training भी करी है, in martial arts, you've done some special martial arts, so am I not supposed to ask certain questions?
No, I trained in Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu is a form of martial art, and I was trained in that by my Indian trainers before my Chinese trainers came down to train me. We got the international action master called Didi, who's based in Hong Kong. He came down to train me for a couple of months, and Akshay and I actually trained on wires, because that's actually something very difficult to do, to actually do action when you're up on cables. And that took a lot of my energy out, because it's something that although I was an athlete, it's something that I've never done before, and something that I was not used to. But they made it as easy as they could for me, and I'm glad I did all that rehearsal before we actually went to shoot, because we were shooting in China and the climatic conditions there were not very good. China at that point was going through a cold wave. So in the middle of that, we reached China and we had to do all these all the action choreography over there, which was quite difficult, but I'm glad that I had rehearsed it.
आपके co-star Akshay थे, who is a trained martial, art hero. उनके कुछ inputs?
Well, Akshay and I have a very interesting fight sequence in the entire film, and I think out of all the days, I was most nervous on that day, because, like you said, he's someone who's the master of action, and we had these real swords in our hand, and we have a full fight sequence together. And although I had learned what I was supposed to do, the minute I saw him in his full attire with the sword, I felt like running away from there. I couldn't be there anymore. But that's when he called me and he said, you shouldn't get tensed and be all nervous. You have to relax your body and treat it like a dance. And that's exactly what we did. We rehearsed it a couple of times, and I think we've got a fabulous take.
Akshay Kumar, एक project में उनकी involvement एकदम total होती है. Like he takes over the project, he directs it, he advises people, and he actually becomes like the captain of the ship. So was that helpful to you?
Yes, definitely, because he's someone who's been in the industry for so many years, for over 15 years. So I'm sure he knows what suits him best and what works best for the entire film. And I'm someone who's absolutely new and most definitely open to suggestions and ideas. And I'm sure when he suggests something to a director or to his co-star, I'm sure he means it for the best for the film. And at the end of the day, that's what we're all working for. And yes, I have managed to learn a lot from him.
Nikhil Advani ka chance hai to redeem himself, because he got a lot of criticism for a movie which he made well, Salami Ishq, and he's a good filmmaker. So like he must have also given 100%, right? For this
Absolutely, and I think an action film and an action cum comedy film is what I'd like to call it, is something that I think Nikhil was always very excited about doing. So he's put more than 100% into this project. We've been shooting for this project for quite some time, so I'm sure he's done a whole lot of homework before we actually started. He was very sure about the look that he wanted in the film, because I have a double role, and he wanted the two looks to be, although we're twins, he wanted both the looks to be completely different from each other, and he was very sure of what he wanted.
आपने consciously strive किया है to be the Indian girl, the proper Indian girl. So basically that's been your image. It's been pretty nice. You did a Western look also, but फिर भी इसमें nowadays चलेगा? Will it work?
In Chandni Chowk to China, when I say that I'm playing an Indian girl, I don't mean Indian in terms of Indian attire. She's the Indian girl, or rather she's the twin who is left behind in India.
Okay.
So she's born and brought up in India, but not necessarily dressed in Indian clothes. And she's someone who's always wearing makeup and always dolled up and always dressed up. Whereas the other character is my action character. So over there we've tried to go more with leather clothes and cat suits and try and give it a more Western and athletic feel to the character.